Hey everybody, Dr. Albert Snow here. I'm a holistic gastroenterologist. I've been doing it for 40 years, and I developed a way to heal inflammatory bowel conditions, GI cure it's called. But I'm here to talk about something else, related, but something different. I get asked a lot, hey, should I eat things like yogurt? How about, these fermented foods, kimchi, like kombucha, fermented, and even sauerkraut, things like that. Should I eat those? And my answer is no. Under these circumstances, if you're talking to me, you probably have an inflammatory bowel condition, IBS, colitis, Crohn's. Under those circumstances, they're useless. They're useful when you don't have those conditions as a preventative. And here's what I mean. You got into this bind, you got into this pickle because of the use of antibiotics. When you were 2 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old, it's in the air, water, food. Our mucosal lining in our gut is under assault 24 hours a day. These conditions are not diseases, they're not immune system conditions. They're what they are. They're man-made conditions caused by the use of antibiotics, bathing water, swimming pools, chlorine. It goes on and on and on. When you think about it, you'll be shocked at how much sense it makes. So what's happened is those drugs wipe out a large spectrum of probiotic bacteria. In your gut, you're supposed to have zillions, many, many different kinds. And normally, our ancestors, they would take an antibiotic called penicillin. It was part of their diet. It was in the food. My grandmother used to eat she used to buy the day-old, 2-day-old bread on purpose. Not that she was cheap, maybe she was. But for those blue, green little circles on there, the mold, that's what they called it, the mold, the penicillin. The penicillin. So our ancestors had a pretty neat little thing, a cycle going on. Is if they got some kind of germ, they got sick with the bacteria, okay, they would just eat the foods like a yogurt or the penicillin that's on the bread, the other fermented foods they would make, and it would put in what the penicillin took out. You see, the penicillin only took out a small spectrum, 2 or 3 different strains of bacteria. And guess what? It just so happens that those fermented foods that they ate put those exact ones back in. What a coincidence, huh? Our ancestors took some type of a probiotic food to restore what the penicillin took out. What an amazing deal. It puts back in the exact stuff that was taken out. Then we found ourselves not in Kansas anymore. Went around after World War II, but certainly right in the 60s, they started handing out these synthetic antibiotics, and then you now have graduated up to things like Cipro, Flagyl, Z-Paks. They take out a wide variety. They some cases they can scorch the whole GI tract. Then you have manifestation of inflammatory bowel conditions, symptoms. So then you're going to tell me you want to eat some yogurt or some sauerkraut with their 2 or 3 strains of bacteria. That's going to put it back in, make everything okay? No, it's not. Because remember, the Cipro took out a lot of different strains. You're trying to put 2 back in there, 3 back in there, maybe 4. And that's not going to fix it. See, the world changed after World War II. And the things that used to work, we didn't have to think about. Our ancestors didn't know anything about that. They just did it. They're not true anymore. The world has changed. The antibiotics took this sacred biome that was developed over millions of years and blew it like an atom bomb. Zillions of different pieces. We're trying to put those back together, and that's what I do. That's the basis of the GI cure that's healing everybody. Is that what I'm telling you is the starting point. You have to realize that you got to put the stuff in that's missing. that's been taken away, not the stuff that our ancestors used to use. There was a commercial on TV probably 25 years ago for Buick, and they used to say, "This is not your father's Buick." My father drove a Buick. His father drove a Buick, and they were old farty cars. Maybe not anymore, but they were. It's the same thing. Not your father's or grandfather's or great-grandfather's probiotic food. It just isn't going to work. Now, those are good to maintain things. That's really what they were designed for. To put a little bit of stuff back in and then keep things, they ate them on a daily basis, keep things on an even keel. Well, the world changed. And so you can't rely on them to fix anything, to help maintain. Keep the tummy nice, but still it's limited. It's not about food. It's not about putting the food back in of some kind. I have an Italian friend, he uses, he ferments his own pickles and olives. He talks about the strains of bacteria that he was taught about by his relatives, ancestors in Italy. The world has changed. So, kombucha, kimchi, they all have a value, but relevant to you in your inflammatory bowel condition, they're insignificant. So isn't any other kind of food. You're not going to eat your way out of the problem. There's not some combination of so many mangoes and a little bit of papaya and give us some turmeric. No, there isn't such a thing. For our ancestors, there were combinations that could bring us back into balance because we didn't get so far out of balance. That's why there exist probiotics. But there's another whole thing to say about probiotics, and I'll keep it short. That isn't the purpose of this clip here. But you have to have a probiotic that puts the strains back in, the ones that was removed. And you need it to be in the right ratio. I mean, like in nature they occur, like so much of this one, so much of that one, so much of this one, so much of that one. It's a matrix. And that's how the body wants it. These companies that manufacture probiotics, they usually don't even know what they're doing, really. They're putting, and I might say more so distributors in retail stores, they don't know much. They're just moving a product. It's a bottle of powder to them. It's got to be kept refrigerated. Don't let anyone tell you, I don't care, I know them all. I know the whole story. I knew the highest people in the industries. I dismantled every single one of them. They all need refrigeration. The trick in the industry is this. They'll say, oh yeah, if you buy it with 1,000 milligrams, says on the, they use different terms, CFUs, different ways of measuring it. Just say CFUs. The bottle will contain CFUs 1,000. And they're trying to say it's shelf, doesn't need refrigeration. What they're really trying to get over on is that they pack extra probiotics in there. So the bottle might contain, capsule might contain 1,200. So, and by the time it gets to you in your stomach, some of it's died, and they're saying, well, they believe there'll still be 1,000 in there. It's dying. I don't care. It's shelf-stable. The names they use, I haven't been involved with them for years. I used to argue with the sales companies, the sales reps, and I used to say, you're full of shit. A probiotic is a pro-life thing. It's living, okay? It's going to die if it's exposed to heat. And room temperature is heat in that world. And there's no such thing as neutralizing the perishability of a substance without killing it. Sure, let's kill it, then we don't have to worry about any what's going to perish or not. Okay? That's the idea originally with refineries that would process foods. Well, we're going to start building these grocery stores, and the mice and the bugs and everything won't be interested in the foods because there's nothing left in them. So we don't have to worry about worms or bugs or anything in our food because we're killing it. They're not interested in either. I mean, have you ever seen like a Twinkie go bad? I think there's an expiration date on there because everything is supposed to have one. But my point is, for a probiotic, you have to have the right one. You got to take it with some other stuff, otherwise it's not going to work either. But the point of this clip was, don't rely on food to heal your gut. There is no diet. FODMAP, SCD, You go on and on and on. They're not even designed to heal it. As far as I know, no one's even saying they're going to heal it. They're telling you this is the way you have to eat, and this is the way it's going to be. Not true at all. Not true at all. You reestablish the mucosal lining, and you do it properly, and repair the underlying tissue that's been damaged by your own stomach acids, you'll eat whatever you want. I get emails every single day. My patients, somebody will say, hey, I can now eat whatever. And they're really, really impressed. It's because we put the mucosal lining back in. You're not going to find a food. Okay, let's say papaya. Oh, that kind of soothed the stomach a little bit, right? What else you want to talk about? Pineapple. Oh, it's got some enzymes in there, right? Those are not going to heal your inflammatory bowel condition. Think of any other combination. Food combining. Wow. Talk about a bullshit concept. Food combining. You're not supposed to eat, fruit with vegetables and nightshade. Don't even talk to me about macrobiotic diet. Talk about bullshit. Michio Kushi, who was the international spokesperson for them for many years, he used to smoke cigarettes. He weighed about 80 pounds. He died of lung cancer. But he always used to say, hey, you just say, Michio, man, you're smoking like a chimney over there. Oh, I said, my yin and my yang, my microbiotic diet is such that I can do this. Yeah, he didn't do it too long. Food is insignificant when it comes to healing your bowel. And maybe I should say very little significance. Here's the point. It's not what you eat. You're not going to heal yourself. What you want to do with food, what you want to do is not eat foods that are detrimental, so that while we're trying to heal you, we're not sabotaging it by eating what? High fiber foods. Temporarily, we want to eat low fiber, so we don't aggravate the bowel while we're in the process of healing it. So yes, we're using food a certain way, that way, which is the only way, but it's not about what you eat to heal. It's about what you eat and don't eat to not aggravate. Okay, so that was just a little clip about food. I want you to get it into perspective. Obviously, food's healthy. We want to be healthy. But relevant to inflammatory bowel conditions, only thing you're going to be concerned about is low fiber. You can't eat your way out of it because you didn't eat your way into it. There's no poor diet. You can talk about eating McDonald's every day. Is not going to give you inflammatory bowel conditions. Okay. Thank you. Please tune in for my podcast. I try to do 2 or 3 a week. I also have a YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube at Dr. Snow, Naturopathic Doctor. You'll see me on there. And I'll be back soon.